Hey guys, um, good evening. Hey Stuart, Mark, Randy, Mark Osborne. What's up? This is nothing. I've had a bit of a break from steamroller stuff, to be honest, over the last 3 weeks, and I'm sorry. I got the guilt about it because there's stuff that needs to be done post haste. Um, there's bits here everywhere I'm tripping over, and it's going together, but I haven't done much. Things to do, but it hasn't happened. I've had a bit of a break. And I sat down and built a plastic model, or I made a pretty good start on a plastic model, which is a bit terrible. David, good morning. It's sort of still on subject, I guess, but I haven't really. There's 1,000 things that I need to do that I haven't done. It's a bit poor. Anyway, went to work again today and I'm pretty well beat, to be honest. But it's been good to not have to do major machining jobs or clamp around under rollers and things for a couple of weeks. And I'm back at it because I've run out of other things to do. So I really got to get into it. We're in the dark. Who didn't turn the lights on when we come in? I'm not sure. Anyway, it's a bit poor. I did clean the lathe. Look at that. Job's still in it the same as before, and I haven't really made a lot of progress on that. But I did clean the lathe, so that's something. That's something that did happen. But as a rule, this poor little 3D printer's been going pretty hard. And we've got the makings of a 1/24 scale Foden FG S18 cab lorry tractor unit, which is fairly short and not particularly, not a very big truck, to be honest. In 1950 standards it probably was, but by sort of 2025 standards it's not a big vehicle at all. But it's been a fun project. I don't know if there's another live stream or anyone will stand another live stream talking about it. Promise we'll have actual steamroller parts next week. This has been a fairly challenging project in a lot of ways for me, which I've enjoyed. I'm not sure these guards off the back of the Volvo are actually going to go on here. I don't know if they're going to look good or not. Maybe they're a bit much. Maybe it looks more like a big lorry with just mud guards on the back, like mud flaps on roads. I don't know. Still thinking about that. There's some pressure from the group of plastic models that I hang with. Group of plastic modelers on Discord to put lights on this. I'm not sure that's something that's going to happen or not. Watch this spot. My design has got provision for them, but I don't know if I can be bothered. Now, Randy, am I going to paint it blue? Chassis is going to be red. I'm still waiting for the front end, right? if we have a look, right, this is all just sitting together. There's no front end in it, right? I've ordered a white metal front end, something that'll handle the weight a bit better than the plastic one, from an Australian manufacturer of model truck parts. And it's left Melbourne, but I don't know when it'll be here. I got a shipping notification for it, but only today. I know I ordered it some time ago. So we haven't got any front end yet. When that's done, we're going to paint this red, the chassis. Right? And then we can start putting a radiator in. And things like fuel tank in. Fuel tank with pressed ends. It's half the fuel tank. Still got to have rubber cab mounts on the back of the cab. Still got to have the front end in it. Still got to have the fuel tank brackets. Still got to do something with some mounts for a turntable, but there's a proper turntable coming. I've got a proper turntable and a steer axle and fuel tank brackets, which I really don't know how to even start about designing up. What else? Some headlight lenses. And a gear lever to go in here. So just some detail bits. Didn't spend very much money on it, but hasn't been a crazy expensive build right from the start, really. So when that's going to be painted red. So chassis is going to be red. Cab. Probably red guards. Maybe two-tone with red guards. Rest of the cab might be blue. I've got a nice bright blue that would go on it very nicely if I mask it up enough. Don't ask about the door openings and the door hinges, because you'll feel much better if you don't know about that or the plan of attack. I really don't know either. These aren't printing as well as they could. See, there's quite a bit of filler and quite a lot of work on the back of this to bring them up to where I think they should be. This is a very good print, but the problem is with printing this is that they're not flat, right? There's a gap under here. They sit on the 4 points like they should, but there's a gap under here all the way along. There's a gap under here. In reality, it's printing on about that angle with a whole lot like that, with a whole lot of support under it. And the support, because I'm using a very fine print, like very fine layer height, support's not lifting off properly, and we're ending up with a mess. So I had to work this one up pretty well, and the other one I printed, it didn't come up as well as it could have, so I'm not real happy with that. These bits are going on sort of last. Basically I printed them out to put these guards in place. This guard's very nice, you know, that line there follows the body line very nice. This one here sticks out a bit, which isn't good, but this raised piece is quite a bit thicker on this one, so this is a file job, I think. Gonna have to get in and sort that out. So the top half was a good day. The top half is probably going to be blue with stripes and full signwrite on it, I think. Whether I signwrite full size on boards and get them reduced down on decals, I don't know. Don't know what's happening there. But most of this was to fit the guards on the floor, and we've put those final little pieces in the corners there, made them, put them in place. This magnet side that covers the engine on this side falls out. It just lifts out on this side. This one will be hinged in two places, so basically you lift it up and slip it over. Don't know how that's going to work yet. Still thinking about that. But it'd be very nice to be able to lift this up and be able to put on display with the engine doors open. So that's sort of a plan. I don't know if it's going to work. There's quite a bit more fitting and messing around with this than you would expect. Still got to have pedals in here. We have got a handbrake lever inside there, under the seat. Look there. And seats are sort of Hoden specials, mounted on the back, just on a frame. With a fairly lousy cushion. A nice bit of raise in the middle of it, and the right shape, and the right shape on the back cushions. So pretty pleased with those seats. Steering wheel's got a recess in the middle there, which is where the speedo goes. There's pedals, there's a gear lever goes in here, which might be suitable for, it was like $1, $2 for a resin casting, so it might be suitable for purpose, or it might not. We'll have a look. Might have to make something up yet. So to go on here, there's two brackets for the cab mounts. The rubber cab mounts go on here, just a piece of angle. So that's still got to go on here before it gets painted. Still got to put a steering box on this corner. That's not there. Now, the muffler runs down there and underneath. Now, I'm not sure. I believe that the muffler's in under here on the front, across the silencers in here, with a pipe coming down to it, and then a pipe out the front on a tractor unit. I'm not sure. Someone's doing some research in the UK on them for me. Like actually going and getting me a picture, I hope, which would be awesome. So that's what I think, but we don't know yet. We've got a handbrake lever there. You can see that handbrake lever, I think, just, there we go, down beside the driver's seat. We also fitted handbrake shaft in here on the front of the diff there, so that's also been fitted. We've done a job on one of these wheels that had the piece broken out of it. These have still got to have wheel hubs. One of the wheels had went missing, so we had to make a new hub for the spare. Anyway, job's done. There's no spare on this at this point. I've still got a spare if I wanted to put it on, but I don't know where I would put it. Could go up behind the cab, I guess, but that leaves a bit less room too. Don't know. So that's it. And then white roof, I think, and blue, maybe. There's a very nice, like a desert sand brown, which would look really nice too on it. Like a dark and deep brown and a desert sand and deep brown guards and a desert sand cab. I haven't really decided, to be honest. I've done the CAD work in a couple of different colours and I kind of like the brown, but don't know, the blue's a bit sharp too. Anyway, we could just paint it green and be done with it. Foden were a bit adventurous with two-tone cape colours, so cream and red would probably be nice too. I don't know. Anyway, so that's where we're at with that. And you're just listening to me waffle on about this. But it's quite a job. And if I can get these go on over the top, and this one fits up pretty nice on there, I think. Very happy with the way that fits. If we slide this around there, that fits up the back wall there very nicely, and it sits around there very nicely, and the gap around the guards is very nice, so very happy with that. And there's also clearance between the steering wheel and the window for someone's knuckles, and it means you can get the door shut with the seat in place. The front panel's also a bit of a challenge because there's quite a lot of detail on the inside that really needs to be nice, and there's detail on the outside too. If it never had so much curve in it, I'd print it in two sides, so you've got two faces, and glued them together, but I don't think we get away with that with this, so I'm not sure. Work in progress. I'm not going to get a lot more done to this week. There's too many other things that really are a bit pressing and we've got to get sorted, including valves for a water pump for an engine and things like that. But a couple of weeks when we get some more parts, we'll certainly get into it. 3D printed, probably standing beside. I reckon it's probably going to have a lot of spanners kicking around and the sides up, and the bonnet hinged up. I don't know. I think the driver sort of gets in the way a bit. You can't really see him too because his head's up under the bonnet a bit, up under the roof. So there's still, all these bits are work in progress. And probably I feel like if I found some more wheels, and I discovered that you can buy wheels separately, but we could have made that chassis quite a bit longer and put tandem drive or just a little bit longer and made a flatbed truck out of it. But anyway, that's where we're at. Anyway, so Foden's coming together pretty nice. I think it's going to be a really pretty model, and it's going to be fairly high detail. It's tiny compared to a modern truck. Like, there's no room in the cab. If you have a look, this engine cowl is offset to go over the motor. It's not actually in the centre of the chassis. There's a little bit more room on the driver's side than there is on the passenger side, so the passenger hasn't got much room in here at all. You've got to spread out over the engine cowl. Hey Peter. So anyway, not sure. I have printed up some hubcaps, which I got really nice actually, and then I put some chrome on with this crappy chrome pen, which is really only a silver paint pen. Not a big fan of this at all. I've tried shaking it, I've tried anything. If anyone knows the answer to making this so that it's actually shiny chrome and smooth, I'd like to know, but I think it's just a silver paint pen. Not that fast. So these at a pinch would probably do, but they're only silver. They're not actually chrome. And these back ones the same. There's no real shiny reflection on it. Paint them black first might be really good. That might be the answer. I don't know. I'm not having much luck with them. I'm going to try a few other things and a few sample pieces and see if I can get them actually up and running. But my thoughts are to cast these and the bonnet emblem and grille and probably the door handles and window winders and things like that in white metal or an alloy. Machine the caps from alloy and polish, exactly. That's might be an option, whether you do that, because all these are covers, right? These cover this 3D print is pretty lousy. This is the problem I'm having with 3D prints with very fine resolution, is that they're not releasing nicely from the support. That's the finish we're getting off the bed plate, which is how it should be, and this is the finish we're getting off the support, which is not good at all. And this has been painted and then rubbed back and all this stuff, and you can't see the back of them anyway, but not happy with them. So I'm thinking something a bit better for that. I don't know what sort of white metal or lead solder or what you can use that isn't going to go black with time, something that's going to stay shiny. Maybe you make them out of just 60-40 and 50-50 solder and put clear on them before they get a chance to tarnish. I don't know. If anyone's got any experience with that, that's what I'd like to do. These go in here like such. And this one goes on the back here, which basically covers that in. So you get them all cast, lost wax cast in silver. Yes, that'd be very nice and probably not crazy expensive. But I don't know what alloy, and silver's going to tarnish just as quick. Something that doesn't tarnish would be very nice. Okay, so there's quite a few little bits. There's door handles on here, old-fashioned swing style door handles on the outside, also on the inside of the doors, and the window winders, and a few grab handles and things which may or may not. There's probably quite enough of them in a Volvo kit to finish the job. Solder's very soft, that's correct. It's also got a very low melting point. I don't know what pewter is, what's in pewter to make that, and then to be able to get really good detail with that. Don't know. Interested to find out if anyone's got any ideas. So these doors on the full size one have got like a 3-inch butt hinge, top and bottom, and the middle. That's what hinges them. They're a wooden frame. They've got a recessed, like a door hinge in them. And that's what hinges them. And they swing out here, and they've got a leather strap to stop them swinging back. Because when you get in the thing, and you get a gust of wind, and this door swings back around here from the driver's side, you've got to get out again to reach the door. Even though there's a little pull handle on the side of the door just here. You haven't got enough leverage to pull the door shut, so you've got to get out again and pull it shut while you get back in. So they've got a piece of leather on them to stop them swinging any further than this, so you can still get hold of them and close the door. So that's how that works. There's probably some experience in that actual description of how the doors work on these, but that's about it. There's a heater unit in the front on the English truck, which probably didn't need it in Australia very much, but that goes on the front wall here. Got that sort of, some of the some of the details on the front wall, and some of them are actually separate piece. And then there's door frames and window glass and all that stuff, which is a serious bit of work as well. Anyway, that's that. Now, it's time we address the elephant in the room. There is an elephant in the room. I had a live stream on Tuesday afternoon, which wasn't particularly, no one noticed it, no one saw it, no one watched it, don't think. But it was sort of an experiment. And anyone who completely was messed up by it, I'm sorry. Won't happen again. But what might happen, been asked a lot of times, I don't know if it's the medium to do it. I don't really feel like making structured CAD program videos because there's so many other people doing it. It was mostly me complaining about the software. That's about all it was. It wasn't worth watching. But don't bother. Like, seriously, don't bother watching it. I'm probably going to delete it. But what I'm kind of keen to do is go over the workflow in actually CADing something up to this sort of, not maybe even to this standard, but for a start, just casual little parts like making this fuel tank with the creased ends and the tapered filler spout and little raised flange on it and all that sort of stuff, or even things like CADing these up from a drawing and what's involved in it. There's 1,000 things that I make. How to make these letters, how to do CAD for nameplates, or there's lots of things that I'm sort of pretty proficient, I think, now with the CAD program. And then I get asked questions, dead before I even start, because you've got all these how to do things and there's nothing to say, this is how you set up your workspace, this is where you start, this is what you do. So probably there's going to be another live stream every week. That's what I'm saying, if that's the way to do it, unless someone else thinks of a better way to do it. I'd like to do a CAD live stream, probably I don't know whether to stagger it across the week or whether to do it Tuesday night as well as Wednesday night, or whether to actually do it Friday night, which I'm not here every Friday night, but about the same time, and sit down with a computer and some files and a part and say, hey, look, this is what we're going to make, this is how we're going to do it, this is what we're going to end up with. This is a little bit difficult because of this. So starting with the basics, how to set up a workspace and how to make sketches and how to extrude them out and how to make them into 3D parts, and then how to export them for 3D print or to DXF for laser cutting or whatever. I don't know, it's probably going to be fairly technical instead of a bit less talk and a little bit more like workflow oriented, I guess. But I have a think about that, because in a couple of weeks I might start. I'm not going to start in on this because this is all pretty advanced stuff. For anything that needs to be done, the basics are all laid out. And if I delve into, say, redesign of the doors, or major additions or brackets for the chassis for cab mounts or window frames or whatever for this, rails for the turntable, whatever it needs. You're sort of right there in the middle, and anything that we're doing is already sketched out, and it's just a modification of what's already there. And sometimes it's the 6th or 7th modification. Oops. Things like this cross member here, right, which has got a flange that picks out this way on each side, and then it's got a curve up the frontal with two holes in it there, and it's got a flange on each side, an angle flange on each side that sits in the corner of the chassis. This is a 3D printing challenge, but it's also a CAD challenge. Very interesting little job. So anyway, probably not going to start in with this. I want to get Restream or some sort of streaming software up and running so I can do it off my computer, and so that I can actually do the whole like screen capture thing. Probably set up my big screen for CAD work, and also probably 3D print a slicer table and stuff like that if we're going to make stuff or whatever. And sort of run people through how to make that work, because it's pretty accessible. It's just you don't really, most people, it's very accessible. It's 3D CAD nowadays is very accessible to anyone. It's just that people get completely lost in it because they download some crappy little hobby open source thing that no one's put enough money or dollars into, and there's not enough industry using, and you end up with something that's not intuitive at all. But I use Onshape, which is a very good program, I think, and it's certainly got a lot more things with the free version than Fusion 360 currently has, or is likely to have in the future. Fusion 360 seems to be downscaling every time you update it. So if anyone's interested in one of the 1,000 little CAD jobs that we do, and there's a lot of them, some of them are complicated, some of them not so much, and we'll do some pretty basic stuff. And some more complicated things. We might do a Tuesday night live stream, which works very well for me because I'm home and I've got time to organise and get prepared for it. At probably at the same time, if that works. Everyone in the States misses out, and overseas, if we go an hour early, and if we go an hour later, then everyone in Australia is feeling like it's bedtime. So I don't know, but probably Tuesday night. We'll have a CAD stream every week, and I'll put some effort into it, and we'll get it working properly. Anyway, other news. I think there's a parcel coming from Peter, which I'm a bit excited about. So I did see the Australia Post notification pop up from somewhere in far north Queensland. So maybe that's Peter. That's pretty exciting. So I might have something to show you there. I've got a parcel coming from there. I got a parcel from Temu, which I'm not real sure about the ethics of. It's not a quick process to get them, but it was a box of sanding sponges like this, which this one's already seen a bit of hard use. But these are pretty nice for the money. like this. It's quite a coarse one. I think it's 180 grit, something like that. 180 grit. So that happened. I've got bits coming for this at some point. At some point this next weekend, I'm going to have to get in and finish the valves in this. It's not a big job. It's just a matter of getting out the workshop and finishing them. Doing some mill work. I guess till then this 3D printer will work pretty hard on this and we'll get some bits done, a few details. Still waiting for some inspiration about the muffler and silencer. Peter, yeah, I'll make an effort with that. We'll schedule it all up a bit early. Might keep this one as proof. This one might improve because of it, but if we put another stream up, it'll go up pretty early. No, really, you've got no one's twisting your arm to watch it. It's going to be pretty much CAD work and working through that. And then at some point, I think I'd like to do like a major project and go through all the different parts of it and end up with something that's actually working and animated on the screen and is a proper CAD model with numerous parts all together, whether it's major or whether it's just something simple. Maybe we could do something like a Myford Boy engine or we could, there's things we could do. This needs a float and a Jake's crane or something on the back of it eventually. I'm kind of really enjoying this plastic modelling to the point that I wouldn't mind doing this for 6 months and then going back to something else, but I haven't got time for that. I really don't have time or patience to do that for much more than a couple of months. And this is going to have to go put away and go on the back burner for a bit anyway, I think. So that's that. What other news? Oh, Joe got attacked by or jumped at by a pit bull the other night on his walk. And narrowly escaped getting done, so he's been on the phone to the council reporting that today, so that's a good thing. A bit responsible with your animals. You don't get much time, but if you've actually got a weapon, I would probably have, you don't have time to look for a tyre iron or something. You've got to be carrying something. Anyway, here's Dan. Dan's been in a meeting with Glenray Timberfest. There we go, because that time of the year is approaching again. And also the Tea and Biscuits is here. Good day. Oh, that's James P, not Tea and Biscuits. Sorry. The Shed Shop. I saw someone pop up. There we go. James P in the Shed Shop. Good day. So that's where we're at with that. Usual disclaimer, the reason I'm building a truck from this scale is because it wouldn't take anyone, and Dan knows this, and few people know this who know me, wouldn't take anyone very much time to talk me into being custodian of a full-size one, and I need to get that out of my system before it happens, or in case it happens, or in case it's a thing. So that's why we're building a plastic truck, and it's also the that's always also it's nice to have a break from steamroller stuff, even though I can barely afford it, but time wise anyway. But there we go. There's a little Foden lorry that's coming together pretty nice. Trucks are a money pit and a time pit, and I don't know anyone if you've never. I don't know if you've ever worked on a 1950s English truck, but they're not particularly pleasant things. You seem to spend a lot of time on the back end of dirt with oil running over the top of you out some small hole that's not supposed to be there or is supposed to be there, and you can't get it shut. And all the bits that are hot, you know, and then cabs are tiny. Look at this thing, it's tiny. In comparison, if you built a Mac, the cab would be, you know, another foot wider. There's not a lot of room in this for anyone, and all English trucks are like that. As much as I love them, I'd very much like to have one. This will get it out of my system a bit, and job will be done then. So new trucks are even worse than old ones? Probably, yeah. Trucks are hard work. Seized on brake drums with ribs on them that you've got to cut off with grinders, and brakes that work sometimes and you can't bleed because all the pipes are crimped and the bleeder screws are all stripped, and fuel systems and wiring systems that hang out on the ground and look ugly and you can't fix. Crook earth and yeah, bad tin work and rust and leaky windows and things like that. They're not fun. Hey Nigel, Go Create Hobby Machine Shop. There is a new video from Nigel. I'm making a chimney cap for the line, which is really nice. Nice job. Some interesting techniques there, and it came out pretty nice, really. Looks good. What else? James will be pleased. I did show this before, but the lathe's been cleaned, sort of. We haven't actually got much further with this. There's not a lot of work left in these, and probably Sunday I'll get in and finish them. That's me. I look old and tired. Sorry. Bump the button. So this is clean. No progress on that guard. No progress on any of this thread cutting attachment. No progress on any of this gear change system. I spent some time thinking about it, but that's it. It looked like a bit of an ordeal to get that shape, Nigel, but it was really nice. It's starting to look like a locomotive. It mustn't be all that far off getting it finished. There's no cab on it. It's a lot of fancy little handrails and things. I know there's a crazy amount of work in that engine still, and I'm just teasing you. And not even half expecting you to put a timeline on it. So but there's a lot of work in an engine like that. One day. I'm not sure I've got the patience to get things like that finished, to be honest. That's where I'm at. No progress on the whistle. It's down there. There's castings in the cupboard here. It's probably not a big job to get that finished either, but I promised myself to get this done first, and I've been procrastinating that, so that's why there's no whistle castings progress. There's a, here at my feet in the junk, there's a cowl off the steering gear for the Fowler. The old steering gear is going back on, and I've been doing a little bit of CAD on new steering gear, and eventually that will happen. It won't happen this year, next 6 months though. We've got some costs to cover for running the steamroller and stuff, so it's probably more important to get all those things covered, get it registered and get it get boiler ticket and all that stuff, and not stress too much about anything we can't change, we didn't know about until we pulled the covers off. The tender's still not started, Nigel. I see. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Dan's been to a meeting for the Glenray Timber Festival. I hope it was all conclusive and constructive and stuff. Can't wait to hear about it. No, not really. Probably can. Yeah, keep that to yourself. Genuine Randy's making big progress in the shop. Paint and mezzanine handrails, shelves and so on. That's excellent. Who else is doing things in the shop more so than me? Warren says, keep talking like that and you won't want one in no time. That's right. I guess he's talking about trucks. No, I won't want one in no time. I'm not interested. I don't have space to keep it. That'd be the main thing. Probably if I did. See, the trouble is, you get something that'll cart a roller around. It's $6 grand and 7 or 8 grand in tyres before you even start. You know, they're money pit. Some good things come from the meeting. That's excellent. It actually was a productive meeting and not just a kick around and drink beer sort of meeting like we have. Warren got his radio alarm drilled out of a shipping container. That's very useful. James P is renovating, which is excellent. If it's got wheels, it's going to cost you. I can't vouch for the other thing, but yeah, anything with the wheels is going to cost. So anyway, that's about me for tonight, honestly. I'm probably going to try and do an hour's live stream on Tuesdays. I'm not going to promise that. It's going to be all CAD work, right? Start from the ground up stuff. If you're not interested or you already got a platform that's not on shape, probably it's not for you. It's going to be pretty dry, but it'll be on screen stuff mostly. And translating real world problems into CAD problems. So James has had storms too. I hope he's doing all right. And it won't probably, don't look out for it this week, but maybe the one after. think we decided Tuesday night. And I'll set it up properly and start messing around, and there'll be a few trials before we go just to make sure everything works, I think. Anyway, don't expect miracles the first time and expect a lot of grumbling about the software. But that's what I think we're going to do. Dan says there was beer. That's good stuff. Beer's good. James has got a leaky roof, which isn't so good. This week's effort was anything to go by? No, this week's effort was terrible. I'm sorry. But we'll probably work something out. I might go and delete that video now. Anyway, I'm probably out of here. Thanks heaps for tuning in, everyone. Appreciate the catch up. Really do. You take care, guys. Keep making content and keep making stuff in the workshop. Don't look at my example as anything to go by at all. I'm not really doing very much. I've got a little worm drive fake diff in plastic in 1/24 scale, and a cab with mud guards. Which goes on this end of the chassis. And a motor, but I don't know if I've really achieved very much doing that. But it's been fun. There is a build off, I think everyone's a bit late to enter now, but there is a scale model. Thanks, Mark, I really appreciate it, and you're probably going to end up with me taking you up on that. There is a scale model group in Australia that's having a build off over 6 months, so end of August I think this is due. So there's plenty of time, and I don't have to actually get it finished till then, so it can go on the shelf for a bit. But I'd like to at least get a coat paint on the chassis and up on 4 wheels before that happens. There's a lot of work in the cab and stuff still, and a lot of work in just finishing details. So anyway, that's me. I'm out. Be kind to each other. Go watch. Look, if you're looking for something to do, check out any of these guys in the stream. Mark Shed Talks trying to put up a video every week, he tells me, as well as the live, which is awesome. He goes live on Thursday night, which is tomorrow night. The only reason I'm doing it, Peter, is because of the deadline. Check out Nigel's channel. All these guys have got channels. Some of them have actually got content. You should really go and read them. Go and have a look at some of their videos. Anyway, I'm out. Appreciate it, and more soon, guys. We'll catch you.